Hollywood loves the laser, and few science fiction movies are without them. It's portrayed as the future weapon of war. But how realistic is this? Let's take a look at the potential for laser weapons in the future, and how they might differ from what you see in the movies. To date, there have been billions of dollars poured into laser technology, in almost every technology sector. This includes the military. The military already substantially uses lasers, and has for decades, from range finding to laser guiding.
Target is lit. Start the music.
Into attack.
Laser weapon concepts go back well over 2,000 years to Archimedes' heat ray, a system of mirrors that could burn Roman ships. Since then, lasers haven't progressed much as direct energy weapons. They were used a bit in the 20th century to blind, something that was outlawed by the UN in the 1990s.
What if it hits my eye? I don't know. Can't be blind, Jerry. The blind are courageous.
Be blind as long as it doesn't hit you right in the pupil, because then the whole ball will go off like the Death Star.
Though modern science has a long way to go to match the imagination of Hollywood, there have been some advances in the last 10 years. The US Navy, along with several other militaries, have adopted some trial working laser systems. The US Navy's laser weapon uses an invisible infrared beam, able to be used in a number of roles where it has the advantage over conventional weapons. It can, for example, accurately target an enemy ship's engine without hurting the crew. The greatest potential for these weapons might be their ability to shoot down attacking drones or incoming missiles. These lasers could replace expensive missile systems. Take the RAM Mark 31 guided missile weapon system, armed with 21 missiles. Each RIM-116 rolling airframe missile in this system costs almost $1 million, and once the ship is depleted of missiles, will need to be restocked. Invisible lower-powered non-lethal beams have also been used, for example on the Humvee-mounted active denial system, which causes a superficial burning sensation on a target, which could be used to break up rioters.
Or it can be used to safely deter unarmed but suspicious civilians observing U.S. forces.
There are of course major disadvantages to laser weapons. They are limited by line of sight, whereas missiles can fire over the horizon. This is one reason development has been focusing on putting lasers in the sky or even in satellites to track and destroy threats, a concept heavily funded in the 1980s, known as Ronald Reagan's Star Wars. Though lasers in theory could be fired up to the speed of light from satellites and missiles, energy loss increases with distance. Lasers can break up in the atmosphere through absorption and scattering. Lasers can be greatly affected by atmospheric conditions such as smoke, rain, or fog, or even insects. This might be one reason why lasers might be confined to the vacuum of space in future warfare. Another issue lasers have is their energy takes time to cut or damage a target, as opposed to a missile, which immediately transfers all its kinetic energy on explosion. Lasers have to track and stay on target until critical damage occurs. The amount of time a laser has to stay on target can be affected by the target's coding. The future of laser warfare will no doubt see advancements in reflective technology, so scenes like these from Robot Jocks are not as far-fetched as they might seem. Heat and power is another issue laser systems must contend with. Laser systems require a tremendous amount of energy to power, which is why their use might be confined to large nuclear-powered vehicles, able to both power and cool laser weapons, something games like MechWarrior rightly take seriously.
Heat level critical. Heat level critical.
However, unlike in video games and TV, the majority of lasers and laser weapons under development use non-visible wavelengths of light, which propagate through the atmosphere more efficiently than visible light. These weapons would further be silent while they travel through the air, though this would certainly take all the fun out of any science fiction battle. Though to the credit of the Star Trek universe, they've developed their own scientific theory on how energy weapons work, stepping well outside laser technology. Phasers, along with a myriad of other Trek particle weapons, act as Swiss Army knives in the energy weapons universe, using fictional subatomic particles with few limits on what they can do.
It is illogical.
Bars of light from a blaster-type laser outside of science fiction would also be impossible to see by the human eye. Many lasers are in fact pulse lasers, but these pulses travel so fast that if you were to witness them, they'd appear as one solid continuous beam. And much like Star Trek, the Star Wars universe does explain their energy weapons physics in great detail. There are a number of different styles of blasters, many firing a type of slow-moving bolt, having some properties of both plasma and a laser, which fits wonderfully into the cinematic universe for stylish Jedi deflection techniques. There are a number of pretty cool manuals out there for people interested in the pseudoscience fun of it all. It's further interesting to note that many Star Wars weapons are actually authentic 20th century firearms. There does seem to be a future for laser weapons, but the technology for handheld laser weapons will require sizable advancements. Real lasers require a massive power source, cooling requirements, and can have fragile lenses. Laser systems are dangerous without a team of trained operators. Even a bird or insect flying through a laser could potentially blind a user. And adjusting the right power for a target can be a tricky task. Though handheld laser weapons may be a far-off technology, plasma weapons may be closer to reality.
Anything else?
Phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range.
Hey, just what you see, pal.
Plasma is often called the fourth state of matter, along with solid, liquid, and gas. Just as liquid will boil, changing into a gas when energy is added, heating gas will form a plasma, a soup of positively charged particles, ions, and negatively charged particles, electrons. A plasma weapon, also called an electrothermal accelerator, accelerates a projectile by means of a plasma discharge between electrodes at the rear of a barrel. This generates pressure, firing what might be a conventional projectile, but using plasma rather than a chemical propellant like gunpowder. An even more advanced concept would be firing bolts of plasma, but generating this sort of energy requires tremendous power and is not easily stabilized or accelerated even within a vacuum. Plasma weapons, like laser weapons, require a great deal of energy to turn a non-flammable propellant into a superheated conductive plasma. However, the more energy that is supplied, the faster the gases expand, improving the performance of a projectile, which is a unique feature of any such weapons, as force can essentially be dialed in for projectiles.
Maybe ratchet it up a few notches a little higher.
With the amount of money being poured into laser technology, it's no doubt this field is going to expand like crazy in the next 100 years. And it will be a field where anything is possible, from phasers to energy crossbows. But let's hope the majority of this technology is used for good. Check out these medical images from laser-induced sound wave technology. Pretty amazing, right? Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching this brief video on what is a very complicated subject, better explained from a physicist. But I hope it gave you some idea how lasers might act differently than what you see in Hollywood.